All right, let's learn how to stencil on a canvas bag. So if you ordered the kit either on our website or on our Etsy shop, it comes with everything that you need except for this plastic bag. You'll need one of these to put in between the material here so that it doesn't seep through. But other than that, we're going to use all the materials that you would get inside of your kit. So let's get started. Today I'm going to be doing this ombre colors of the blue. So I have the dark blue, the light blue, and the white, and I'm going to do the stencil Dream Big. And I have my stenciling sponge and my paper plate, my squeegee, and my X-Acto knife. And this is what you'll need to kind of help pick the stencil off whenever you go to peel it up. So we're just going to set this to the side. So let's apply our stencil. So your stencil has 3 pieces here. It has the paper backing, it has the blue stencil material, and then has the transfer tape. The transfer tape is important because you need to be able to transfer all of these little middle pieces onto your canvas in one smooth swift here. So how you do that is you just want to give this kind of a rub, and you want to try to go in just one direction. Otherwise you could smash the stencil and crease it, and that would not be good. Okay, so whenever you go to peel this, you want to start from one corner and work your way to the other, and you just want to peel it at a really sharp angle. Oftentimes I will put this piece like against the other side of the paper backing, just so that I know that I'm getting a smooth peel on here. And so you see it's kind of coming up, so that's okay. Just push it back down and kind of roll it off of there. So you want to go slow with this step, don't go fast. If you go fast, then you might run into a lot of mistakes or peel things off that you didn't want to peel off, or even rip your stencil, and you definitely don't want that to happen. Okay, so you can just throw this away. We will not be needing that, so I'm just going to set that off to the side. So this is sticky. It's a one-use stencil. Once you use it and you take it off, you cannot use it again. So you're just gonna put this on here. And I'm going to line this top piece up of the blue here along this, or at least maybe get kind of close to it so that I know it's kind of even. And I'm just going to eyeball it because I'm not a perfectionist. And if you are, that's totally okay. You can get out a measuring tape measure and do that. Okay, so you want to do the same technique. Go in one direction when you are burnishing this down. And then again, you want to use the same technique. Pull from one corner to the other. And what you are wanting to do is leave the blue stencil down, but take this clear transfer tape off. And you can just discard this after. You do not need to keep it. And again, go slow. Sometimes this is kind of tricky to stay on fabric. And just kind of work from one side to the other, doing a little bit at a time. And oftentimes I'll fold it like that just to kind of keep it from sticking as I'm going. And if any of these little pieces come up, it's not the end of the world. It'll be okay. Just put it back down as close as you can get it to where it was. And you might have to, I don't know if you saw that little technique I just did there. Sometimes just kind of wiggling it like that helps it to loosen a little bit better too and makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so there you have your stencil down. You can just wad this up and put it to the side because you won't be needing that either. And you just want to make sure that you don't have any bubbles where your fabric and your stencil meet. So what I just like to do is just go along with my finger. Okay, so now that that's on, you can see that. So what you are going to be doing is you're going to be taking your sponge and you're just going to be painting inside of the lines wherever this is exposed. You don't want to paint on the outside here. What you want to do is strictly keep it to inside here. And you're just going to dab all around. Like that. Okay. So now you want to put your plastic bag inside. And again, this is just to keep so that the paint doesn't seep through your material, because it's going to a little bit, and then it doesn't seep through to the other side here. So just place this inside and make sure that it is totally covering where the stenciled area is going to be. And if you don't have a plastic bag, don't worry, you can use a piece of cardboard or like a really thick piece of paper, or even if you have like a mat like this and you don't care if you can get paint on it, you can also put one of these in there, and then that'll keep the fabric from on the underneath side protected. Okay, so now that we have our stencil down, we can go ahead and start stenciling. So I'm going to do the ombre effect. And honestly, you don't need a ton of paint for this. I'm putting on way too much. I know that I am, but I don't want to have to put more on later. So, and I'm going to work from my light color down to my darkest color. So when you go to stencil, you just want to barely get any paint on there. I know this is a white sponge and it was dipped in white paint, but you can see like there's barely any paint on there, and that's what you want. Because if you get too much paint, then it's going to bleed underneath of your stencil, and you definitely don't want that. So when you go to stencil, you just want to dab it inside of there. And you just want to do a really thin layer. I'm just going to do the very tips of these. That color. And now I'm going to pick up some of this light blue. And then some more of the white. And put that on there. So you can see the color. It's starting to get on there. Some more of that. And then you just do this same technique all the way down. And don't worry, if you are doing the ombre, you don't have to do the ombre, but if you are doing the ombre and you're like, oh no, I really wanted it to be a little bit lighter for a little bit longer, it's okay. Just pick up some more white or light, whatever color it is you're going to use, and just dab it on there. And it's important not to push the sponge into it. You just want to go up and down. And kind of hold it stiff, and you want to hold it kind of towards the bottom too. That way you would have better control over it. And if you need to use like get into like a little area, you can always just take the tip of it and go in like that on there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm just going to set that off to the side. Before you go peeling this up, you want to wipe your hands off, get any of this paint off, because if you accidentally touch the rest of your canvas, you're going to get the paint on there. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, and so now for peeling it, if you can't, usually with the canvases you can get pretty good on there, but if you can't, you could just use your X-Acto knife and just kind of peel up. Don't stab the bag itself because you put a hole in it, but just kind of do it like that. I'm going to put that down because I don't need it. And you just peel it from, again, from one corner to the other. Don't drop your stencil on the bag because again there's wet paint on here and it will get all over the place. And then we can just toss this. You don't need it. And then to get all of these little middles out, you just want to use your X-Acto knife again. I'm just going to put this in the paper towel and wipe my fingers as I go, because it will, if it's wet, it's going to leave stuff on your hands like that. So just wipe it as you go. And leave the bag that's in there. Go ahead and leave it in until you are totally done here, because that's the last thing that you want to do is for it to, while it's drying, to get paint all over the place. And that is how you make a stenciled canvas bag.